Welcome to another episode of LRMania Reviews, and today I am going to be reviewing two shows off the WWE Network. The first one is going to be WWE 24, Episode 5, WrestleMania Silicon Valley. This is really WrestleMania 31. I guess this is when WWE doesn't want to number WrestleManias anymore. That's going to be the first review, and then the second review will be a review of NXT Takeover Rival. Now, the reason why I chose this format is, as you saw in my previous video, I did not review a W24. I wanted to do another documentary on the network, and here I will be skipping an episode W24 Brooklyn, but I will be reviewing that once I get to reviewing NXT Takeover Brooklyn. So I thought it'd be nice to splice those two together. However, today we're concentrating on WrestleMania Silicon Valley, which was a W24 episode, and here it is backstage, very similar to the first episode of W24, which was in New Orleans for WrestleMania 30. This is backstage for WrestleMania 31. So the show, it looks like the main focuses are Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Sting, and Paige. It's pretty good. It's WrestleMania weekend. It's basically the same thing as the first episode, the WrestleMania 30 episode, except it's WrestleMania 31, so I guess they keep the same format. I know they made one for WrestleMania 32. I think that'll be the same format, so I'm overall enjoying the show, even though it was a show 2 years ago. WrestleMania 31 I thought was a great show, so I can still really enjoy it and really enjoy everything leading up to the show. They're doing more, they're talking about the Ultimate Warrior, so this is when they started the Warrior Award, and, I liked Connor. I'm happy he got the award. I felt terrible for his family. It's sad that he passed away. Just, my only problem with it is not that he's in the Hall of Fame. I wish they could have found another way to put him in the Hall of Fame. It's just, when he talks about the Warrior Award, I remember the Ultimate Warrior speech. He wanted it to be the Jimmy Miranda Award. He wanted it to be about production people, the people backstage, those who are working, setting up the show, setting up the crew, setting up the big WrestleMania sets, those who work every single, day that there's a show, and they don't get honored. I think that's really how you honored him, is make it the Jimmy Miranda Award, not the Warrior Award. It's Jimmy Miranda Award. That's what he really wanted. The Connor stuff is just so sad to watch, I've seen it so many times, just, it's really, really sad. Just feel so bad for the kid, his family too. And, very sad. Daniel Bryan did a great speech. Then Dana Moyer, I believe, did a really good, she did a great speech too. And of course they had his family. His father and his little brother accept the award, so, what I'm going to say, it's, really, really is sad. Really sad to see it. They really talk about the Triple H Terminator entrance, which I thought was really, really cool. I thought I liked the entrance. So many people thought it was cheesy. Maybe it's because Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, but I actually kind of liked the entrance, and I enjoyed it. So I know people hate it, and it does look a little bit cheap when they show those fake robots, but I liked it. They kind of go through The Rock with the Ronda Rousey thing. I thought they'd do more with Ronda. I thought she'd be part of the show, but she was just kind of there. They didn't really have her too much on this part. Paige was a huge part of the show. They really concentrate on her. They show her WrestleMania experience. She's very emotional. It's kind of sad to see what happened to her now. She failed 2 wellness violations. And, of course, her sex tape with Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods got leaked. I don't know who leaked it, or maybe it was hacked, and someone released it. So obviously it looks like in her relationship with Alberto Del Rio, who's currently cursing out WWE, it looks like she's done with the company. But I see how happy she is here. It's kind of sad to see how, less than 2 years later, she's only 22 years old here, or 23. Now everything's done. She's basically going to be out of the company. I don't see them bringing Paige back after what Del Rio's doing. So, it is what it is, I guess. But they show her right now, and they show Stephanie really hyping her up, saying she led the Divas Revolution, and not so much now. That was pretty cool. They showed Brock Undertaker backstage. Brock telling him, "I'm going to go get some. I'm going to get it back to you." That was really, really cool. I've never seen that before. That was pretty cool. That was a great moment on the show. They really show this part a lot where Rollins is... I don't know if the story is Rollins didn't find out he's winning the belt until about during the Rock segment, the Rock would run the reality segment, that's the story. So, I mean, they show him here. I mean, he's rooting for Reigns. He thinks Reigns is going to do well. And then all of a sudden, boom. It's really funny how, he's really happy for Reigns. He's trying to put him over. Then all of a sudden, he gets Reigns' spot. It was pretty damn crazy. They show Rollins winning the belt, his big moment. It wasn't expected by him at all, and they show him hugging Vince. So it was a really great moment for Seth. It was a really, really shock moment at the time, and I thought that made that WrestleMania was I thought WrestleMania 31 was a great show. So overall, I thought the documentary was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Really liked seeing Seth win. It was a really, really good documentary. Now let's get on to the second part of this review, which is going to be a review of NXT Takeover Rival. One thing I like about the show already is the logo. So it's basically NXT Takeover on the side, and then the top of it's the NXT Arrival logo. So what they do is they basically take the NXT Takeover logo and put it on top of the AR, and it says NXT Takeover Rival. I thought that was really cool. And it also works because it coincides with the 1 year anniversary of NXT Arrival. Hideo Itami and Tyler Bate had a good match here. Of course, they have to tease the GTS again, but they'll eventually let him use the go to sleep. But you don't want to reference CM Punk too much. But the match wasn't great, but it was a good match. It was the first match, so they held back a bit, but they ended up having a good match. Crowd was into it, a really good way to start off the show, so I enjoyed it. You had Baron Corbin and Bull Dempsey. This was not too terrible. It's just Baron Corbin was really green at the time, and he's not very good. I'm not a big fan of him, but Bull, he had a short run in WWE. I think he was just there to work with Corbin. The match was quick. I was disappointed they didn't use the chair. They were teasing the chair spot. Nothing happened. Just was a quick heavyweight big guy match, which it should have been. But they could have done some more big things, some more spots that would have made it cooler. But not a terrible match. It was just okay. Tag match is next. Blake and Murphy against Lucha Dragons. Lucha Dragons, both of them are on the main roster. Sin Cara already was. Kalisto's doing good. Or, I'm sorry. He's doing terrible now. He had the U.S. title. He's a bum now. And Blake and Murphy, they didn't even make it to the main roster. They're jobbers. I think both of them are done. I think so. Yeah. I haven't seen them on NXT in forever. So, they split up, and those guys are finished. The tag team title match, it was okay. Nothing special. Not too bad. Not too good. A lot of botches. It was not a bad match. It was okay. Very forgettable. Standard tag match. Nothing really to say. Not bad. It was kind of just there. Adrian Neville and Finn Balor in the number one contenders match. You just knew when Finn Balor comes out, the entrance is still awesome. It's still in its beginning, and it's still special. I really like how he only does it on special occasions. I don't think he should ever do it too much. I think he should only do it on pay-per-views to lose all its luster. But it was just such a cool entrance. As expected, they had a great match. Nothing much else to say. These two are great. Balor gets the win. Great match. Really, really enjoyed it. And this is really the prime of NXT. I think this is the NXT's boom period, if you will. These two just had a great match. So next is the 4 Horsewoman Fatal 4 match for the NXT title, and this match was great. And this was really when Sasha Banks, you realize she's going to be a big star. That match was just great. I loved that match. In my opinion, this was the best NXT women's match up until Sasha and Bayley. This Fatal 4 was just excellent. It wasn't very long, but it wasn't like the match at the NXT Fatal 4 show, but I found almost as much enjoyment. It was very, very fast paced. There were so many high spots. This is the match where this was the most action packed women's match of all time for in terms of high spots. This was just crazy. I mean, they were just going out there tearing the host down, trying to steal the show, and they did. They had the match of the night. The 4 Horsewomen, this was, I think, the beginning. People looked at them as the 4, these are the 4 best women in the company by far. And we really saw Sasha win the match. I loved the ending, how she pinned Charlotte. I just thought this match was just great. Loved it. I think, mean, there were so many matches on these shows that the woman would always steal, and I think this was the one where they had the match of the night by far, and that's a show with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Finn Balor and Adrian Neville. If you were going into the show and you would say what's going to be the match of the night, I mean, this would probably be really good, but no one I think could be better than Neville and Balor, or Zayn and Owens especially, or even Balor, Tommy and Breeze. But they had, this was just great. I loved it. And it was great seeing Sasha win the belt. And I really think this is the best Sasha, her as a heel persona. Not necessarily, the Sasha we see right now, the babyface. This is Sasha at her best. She's when she's a heel, she's really, really good. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is the main event, and when this match was announced, I'm expecting this 5-star classic. And this match in particular was not that at all. It was good. It was actually really good if you want to look at the whole match. But they were going for this Brock Lesnar, John Cena, SummerSlam 2014 kind of match. And they ended up having a good match. It wasn't the match people wanted to see and were expecting. And it left disappointing at the time. And these two could have much better matches. They've had a million matches. They've had matches in Ring of Honor, PWG, everywhere, and then of course on NXT, then in the main roster, and I'm sick of seeing these two wrestle at this point. But these two they can have a great match, but they went for a different style of match. It wasn't really the match people wanted to see. That's why people didn't like this match, but it was still a good match. We were expecting Sami Zayn to make his big comeback, and he never did. And the match, it did feel flat at the end, but it was still a good match. It was a good showcase for Kevin Owens, and I think the problem was, when you look back on it, this was going to be a long-term feud. If this was the first match, they can't go all out. But since this was a long-term feud planned, I guess they did a good job. But then, of course, Sammy got hurt and everything got changed because he was injured. But still, this was a well done. This was a well put together match. Looking back on it, and the show overall was just great. Just such a great show. I love NXT takeovers. He had a good match with Breeze, and Tommy was good. Britt Corbin and Dempsey was not much. The tag match was okay. Balor and Neville was great. The women's Fatal 4 match was also great. Love that. And then Owens and Zayn was good. It was well put together. I would say really good. And after the show, we can definitely tell Kevin Owens and Sasha Banks both came off as big superstars on the show. And overall, NXT Takeover Arrival was another great NXT show.